My kid, I speak to you now with unending compassion, seeing your heart open before me with all of your dreams and sorrows. I know you have struggled with uncertainty and had periods of extreme exhaustion when your soul seemed like it was about to collapse. But now you are hearing my voice again and looking for a fulcrum. I am glad you have come to me because I have never abandoned you. Even when you believed I was silent, I was there to support your breathing and hold you in the invisible arms of mercy. Let my words today wash over your soul, reducing the burden you bear. I am the one who created you in the hidden place, who gave you life, who has watched over every step you have taken, and my greatest joy is watching you find the abundance of life. I offer a treasure of hope, peace, and purpose. Even though the world may appear chaotic and uncertain, my plans remain unwavering. I ask you to open your heart with childlike faith and believe that nothing is impossible for me. If you genuinely trust that I can change things, you will see how I bring about supernatural breakthroughs in areas that you once thought were hopeless. I understand the complexity of your fears. Sometimes you worry that you are not worthy or that you fear failure because of the wounds you carry from your past. But I tell you to look at how I have brought you through every dark valley so far. Remember the storms that you thought would destroy you but eventually passed. Remember the tears that fell when you felt completely alone, only to realize in hindsight that I had been holding you together the entire time. Do not listen to those voices that tell you that your situation is beyond redemption. Lift your eyes to me because I am the source of hope that never runs dry. You might wonder, where do I find the strength to keep going? Let me fill your empty vessel with my spirit. Just as water is precious in a desert and the shade of a large tree is a blessing in the wilderness, so too is my spirit for your soul. You have tried numerous times to fix everything on your own, trying to live up to your own expectations or even the standards of the world, but I never asked you to bear burdens alone. When you bring them to me and admit that you cannot do it all by yourself, the load becomes lighter. Sometimes you see people who seem to be succeeding without considering my methods, and you question why you encounter so many challenges. Humility is not weakness. Rather, it is the doorway to receiving my enormous power in your life. Keep your heart free of envy and your spirit free of resentment, since you have no idea the struggles they endure or the sense of emptiness they may experience. Prosperity is about having a heart so rooted in me that circumstances cannot take away your hope. Think about the lessons of the fields and the seeds. It is not about accumulating wealth or showing off accomplishments. Rather, it is about living in the fullness of my love, being at peace during storms, and celebrating even on days when tears fall. I once told a story about how a sower scatters seeds on various types of ground. Some fall on rocky soil and never grow roots, while others fall among thorns that choke them. You too have seeds in your heart, gifts, and a calling that I put there. Carefully guard them. Do not allow the winds of neglect or the thorns of unbelief to crush them. Cultivate a life of prayer, patience, and obedience to my voice, and in due time, what you have sown in faith will surprise you with its beauty and bounty. Think about how a shepherd tends to his sheep. Even if one wanders off, he searches for it and doesn't stop until he finds it, carrying it back on his shoulders with joy. In a similar manner, I have looked for you when you have wandered into despair and cynicism. I have called you by name, and I have longed for you to know that your life is precious to me. I never wanted you to feel invisible or unloved every time you wept in private. I took note of your tears and stored them in my memory, not because I take pleasure in your suffering, but rather because each tear reveals a piece of your heart. One day, you will see how I transforms those tears into pearls of wisdom and empathy. Perhaps you are concerned that your mistakes disqualify you from my favor because you believe I have let you down too many times. I am the one who repairs when you really turn away from what hurts you and others, and I welcome you with open arms. I have sinned too, and I have let resentment and rage destroy my relationships. People may remember your shortcomings, but when you come to me honestly, my forgiveness is complete. I don't keep your past transgressions to shame you. Instead, I use them as stepping stones to help you grow in humility and truth. My mercy is far greater than you can imagine. I am aware of the stresses you deal with on a daily basis. Concerns about money, health problems. There will be days when darkness threatens to overshadow your hope. In those moments, feed your spirit with my promises and resist the temptation to lock yourself away in isolation and fear, instead opening my word and letting it be a lamp to your feet. I see the areas where you have tried to improve and have grown weary. Let me speak life into those areas and let me reassure you that you are not alone. I go before you leveling mountains and smoothing rough paths so that even if you cannot see the changes immediately, trust that my timing is perfect. You may wonder why you should allow trials in your life, but they all serve to refine you as fire purifies gold, reveal areas where you need deeper surrender, and shape your character to more clearly reflect my image. They also magnify my glory when I bring you through them. Let go of your worries through prayer, believing that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever because I do not change. The compassion and strength I have shown you in the past will be the same compassion and strength I show you now. In the past, inconceivable circumstances led to the parting of the oceans, the collapse of powerful fortifications, and the closing of lions' jaws. Think about how your personal narrative may become a witness that defies reason and elevates my authority. Don't curse the process. When you feel exhausted, think of how I nourished Elijah under the juniper tree and how an angel gently roused him to eat and drink before continuing his trip. I now invite you to take spiritual sustenance. This will open your eyes to the wonders I do in the face of hardship. Be mindful of how you speak to yourself and others because words have great creative power. Rest is not indolence. Rather, it is an act of trust that tells God, I believe you are capable of handling my affairs even when I pause from my striving. Let me pour my renewing grace into you so you can rise once again, not in your own strength, but in mine. Even when it seems like there is a lot of discouragement around you, speak life over your situation and summon hope. Let your mouth be a source of blessings and see how your surroundings start to change. Use it to proclaim my goodness and triumph in my name. Refuse to join the chorus of negativity that permeates most of the world. Think about the lessons in the story of the prodigal son as well. He thought that his reckless behavior had destroyed everything, but the father never stopped waiting for him to return. As soon as he appeared on the horizon, the father ran to him, embraced him, and dressed him in honor. There was no condemnation in that embrace, only love. That is how I feel about you. If you have lost your way or strayed, all you have to do is turn around, and I will run to meet you. I will celebrate your return, and I will dress you in righteousness, reminding you that you are my beloved child and not a hired servant. Stand tall, therefore, with the dignity I bestow upon you. Perhaps you question your own value. You see what you perceive as lack of talent, lack of resources, lack of connections. But do you not realize I often choose the weak to shame the strong and the foolish to confound the wise? It is not by your might or intelligence alone that my purposes are fulfilled, but by my spirit I take the small and multiply it. Look at the loaves and fishes, how a meager lunch became a feast for thousands in my hands, so it will be with your gifts when you yield them to me. Think for a moment about the nature of my kingdom. It grows like a mustard seed, tiny and seemingly insignificant at first, but unstoppable once planted. My kingdom is also like yeast that permeates an entire batch of dough from the inside out. Transformation starts in your heart, then flows into your family, your community, and beyond. Each act of faith, each moment of obedience, each word of kindness is like a seed of my kingdom sown in the soil of this world. Do not be discouraged by small beginnings. What you sow in my name will grow in ways you cannot yet fathom. I want you to dream again. Yes, dream. Big dreams that align with my heart for righteousness, compassion, and justice. Dare to imagine the impossible. I am the God who asks you to have faith that moves mountains. But some people give up hope because they have experienced so much disappointment that they shield themselves by having low expectations so they won't feel the agony of failure. How will you see my glory materialize in ways beyond your wildest expectations if you never dream? Allow my promises to instill in you a sense of holy expectation. When you come across people who are going through difficult times, don't hesitate to offer them love. I pour out my compassion on you so that you may show it to those who are struggling, even those who have mistreated you. Mercy, guided by wisdom, is strength under control, and it reflects my character. You become most like me when you extend grace in the face of offense. Be on guard against pride as I begin to bless you openly, giving you opportunities to succeed. Do not forget the source of your blessing. Pride can creep in subtly, convincing you that your success is solely the result of your own effort. Remember that I am the one who gives you breath, skill, and favor. Mercy is a powerful force that can melt hearts of stone, forgive, and break chains that have bound families for generations. You will discover that my favor falls more heavily on you when you maintain your humility and acknowledge that any success you have is ultimately a reflection of my grace. I can see how you want for stability that the world offers. My child, let your security be rooted in me because I am eternal and never change. I am the same person who accompanied David through the valley of the shadow of death, who assured Joshua that every place he set his foot would be given to him, who consoled Ruth in her loss and gave her a fresh start, and who assured Joshua that every place he set his foot would be given to him. I am loyal today if I was faithful. Rest certain that your prayers are heard, even if you sometimes doubt whether they are significant or if they reach over your room's ceiling. Even if it's not always in accordance with your schedule or expectations, I take pleasure in responding to you as you ascend to my throne on the strength of your trust. Delays in responding are not denials. Rather, they are times when I use covert means to hone your intentions, set the stage, and unveil my glory when the time is right. Keep praying. Your prayers are like seeds sown in the soil of eternity, irrigated by tears of longing, and they will eventually bear fruit. The sun rising every day is a reminder of my faithfulness, painting the sky with hope, and the soft wind on your face is a whisper of my spirit telling you that you are not forgotten. I want you to take a moment to appreciate the little wonders in your life. The joy I long to restore in you is reflected in a child's laughter. Look around with eyes of gratitude and let thanksgiving fill your heart every morning, because gratitude opens your eyes to a deeper understanding of my goodness when you focus on what I have already done. It also helps you learn to be still and realize that I am God, even though the noise of everyday life can drown out my voice. Withdraw for a time in solitude and allow me to talk to you in the stillness of your heart. In this private space, I offer my mysteries, solutions for overcoming your struggles, consolation for your wounds, and revelations that lead you to the next phase. Busyness might prevent you from having intimate conversations with me. Choose times of seclusion to reflect on my ultimate viewpoint rather than giving in to the want to run all day. Maintain your connections. Because you and those around you are not flawless, disagreements will occur and miscommunications will occur, but if you respond to them with grace, you will demonstrate the humility and healing love that endures. Allow me to shape your answers. Take a moment before using harmful language. Think about how I've been kind to you even when you've shown me that same patience and forgiveness. You become a conduit for blessings, and I can bring families back together through you. Restore friendships and make amends for things that seemed irreparable. I understand that there are moments when the bad news or the struggles in your community overwhelm you. Wars, injustices, and other tragedies may weigh heavily on your heart. You are not helpless. You bear my life's light. Every kind deed, every word of encouragement, every stand for truth is a flame pushing back the shadows. Do not underestimate the power of even the smallest act of love done in my name. When you face temptation, whether it be pride, lust, greed, or any other trap, do not fight alone. Call upon me. I wonder, Lord, are you really in control? Remember that not even in the darkest hour, I am there calling people to repentance, stirring hearts to rise in compassion, and inspiring acts of selfless love.